Come here, good boy. No, no, no. Shh. No growling. We're live right now. Don't let people know that you can be mean. You're a mascot. You can't be growling at me when I pick you up. We're having trouble streaming to your destination. It's possible to stream, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, I got to just get off that one. Excuse me, please, Spike. That's not helping. Seriously, that's not helping. Quit now. It's been an interesting day. My first show today, I had nothing but technical problems, just difficulties after another, and then I got with a coach, somebody who's like supposed to, she's terrific. I mean, I don't mean to say this in any disparaging way, but I've been in the media business all my life. Oh, there's something else having trouble. Edit. Why is that giving me problems? I don't want to remove it. I want to stay there. Excuse me, please, everybody who's watching live right now. Remove Facebook from this stream. Why? The stream is already live. You cannot edit the schedule. What the heck does that mean? It has been one thing after another. Seriously, all day. Ridiculous. Personal stuff, ridiculous. Show stuff, pathetic. Equipment problems. Then Spike has been acting all weird, really weird. I mean, at one point, I knew he was here. Normally, wherever I am, that's where he's going to be. This is my little rescue guy here, Spike. I told the story about him. At the SPCA, Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals shelter. They told me his name was Elliot when I adopted him as an adult. And I said, no, it's not. I'm not going to call him that. So he's Spike, and he knows his name. Anyway, I'm like, where the heck is Spike? Spike's always right here. He's always laying down next to me, laying up against me, laying within earshot. And I looked down, and he was just standing there. Not even sitting, like looking at you because he wants something, standing there, staring away. And he'd been standing there for like almost 30 minutes. What the heck's going on, little guy? And then just now when I picked him up to put him on the show, he growled at me. He hasn't growled at me in a long time. What's wrong with you, little guy? Anyway, I'm wasting my guest time. So, I brought up the coach. The coach telling me that I'm ineffective. I'm ineffective as a communicator because I don't really have. What is my show about? I said, well, politics and religion. Well, nobody cares about politics, and everybody hates the word religion, so don't call it that anymore. Okay. Well, it's called Do Not Talk. Why is it called that? Because I talk about two things. You're never supposed to talk about politics and religion. Well, people are sick of politics, and everybody hates the word religion. Don't call it that anymore. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, what's the show about? Politics and religion. So she finally said, well, what do you want to accomplish? And I said, I want to introduce people I care about, which is everybody. I want to introduce them to people that most others don't talk to. People in the media don't talk. See, I've been in the media all my life. My guest today is Dr. Kirk Moore. There was a time in the media they would have not touched him. They would have never put him on. And during the whole COVID thing, anyone who did talk about him was disparaging and running him down and attacking him. As a matter of fact, he got brought up on charges and faced 35 years in prison for doing what, to me, makes him a hero. And because well, let's look at this right here. That's Pam Bondi. Do you know her? She's pretty cool. And she has dismissed charges. The federal government on Saturday dismissed charges against the Utah plastic surgeon accused of throwing away COVID-19 vaccines, giving children saline shots instead of the vaccine, and selling fake vaccination cards. I got to tell you, brother, that makes you a hero in my book. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's what actually happened or anything about that, but that makes you a hero in my book. Well, do you know Dr. Drew Pinsky? He's a good, close personal friend of mine. No, it's a lie. I've never met him. Never even rode in an elevator with him. Anyway, he had Dr. Kirk Moore on his show just recently.
I'm anymore, and I'm been released, and I'm a free man. Late spring, early summer of 21 comes around, and they start talking about like college kids needing a vaccine to go to school. There's no way that we are going to get a vaccine, if it's even a vaccine, in 9 months when we've been trying to get something for AIDS over 40 years, and we're trying to get a vaccine for cancer for 100 years. And we're going to get something, for the common cold virus that's probably been around longer than humanity has, to work in 9 months with a novel technology that killed all the animals in all of the 5 studies that I knew about. And just, it's just all kinds of things just didn't make any sense to me.
That's who I have on my show today, Dr. Kirk Moore. So if nobody cares and I'm not marketing it right and I'm not presenting it and I don't have a great selling title and all that kind of stuff, screw it. Let's get to it. Hit it. Everybody's always telling you what to do and how you can do it better. I know you guys in the medical profession get that all the time. Every pharmaceutical rep that comes pulling their little cart of drugs into your office going, you want to be a better doctor? You have to be brought to everyone by Pfizer. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm great, Charlie. How you doing?
I'm borderline amazing. So all those things that they claim that you did you do those?
Yeah, I didn't sell cards. So we made no money. I didn't charge anybody anything. I did it all it was all, I guess, pro bono or whatever you want to talk about. We didn't charge anybody any money. We had some people that asked, if they could do anything and pay, and I had them donate to a nonprofit organization that was trying to change the laws here in Utah. So that's what they did. And that nonprofit got $26,000 to $28,000 in revenue for what it is that we did, but I didn't take it.
Nice. That's good of you. I have a man I consider him a friend, even though he doesn't return my phone calls now. He didn't want anything to do with the media, even though I was one of the few that was friendly. But he lost everything. He's a little bitter. Dr. Michael Huang in Northern California, Roseville, California.
Oh, I've heard about him.
Yeah,
I heard about him. He was fighting the medical board over there really pretty hard.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I wound up losing everything.
Yeah, why isn't he moving out of California? He should move to another state and go
to. He should move to the United States of America. Yeah. Wow. Dr. Cordy Williams is another one, like you, Dr. Chiropractic. Lost his business down in San Diego, taking a similar stance as you. It was insane what I was watching going on in the media. Now, in the media, on my side of things, I got shut down and shut up because I said actually on the air, hey, you want to die? Check yourself into the hospital. They'll make sure it happens.
Right.
Remdesivir. Nobody still has been able to explain to me why anyone is still, it's hospital protocol still shooting remdesivir into people when they come in with COVID symptoms. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's still, it's a financial thing. It's money. The hospitals make money with a COVID diagnosis. They get a bonus on their reimbursement. And if anybody gets put on a ventilator, they get even, $30,000 extra, revenue. All it is about money. It's about money and control.
What is the remdesivir supposed to do?
What is it? Well, it doesn't do anything except kill people, but
it makes their kidneys shut down while they're flat on their back in an incubator or whatever they put them in, under an oxygen tent, whatever. It doesn't matter. Your lungs are filling up with fluid because your kidneys have stopped processing it and they drown. on their own body fluids. It's insane what's happening. And even with the lawsuits that are going on now, and they are, thank God. And thank God for Robert Kennedy Jr. Never thought I'd say that. Being Mr. Hardcore Republican, I never thought I'd say that. Now I do. Things are changing. However, there's so many other things, Dr. Moore, and this is off topic, I know, but I'm really interested in talking with somebody who's as honest as you are, who's in the medical profession. And that is the whole thing about drug companies being immune from prosecution. And that happened under my president, Ronald Reagan. Why is that still happening? Why is it still allowed? Is anybody saying we got to get rid of this? These people have to be held responsible for what they're doing and the murders that are happening. And it is murder as far as I'm concerned.
I don't disagree with you. It is murder. And I think it's medical malpractice for anybody to be, to giving anybody this medication. People don't know what it is. They call it an antiviral now. It's actually a toxic drug. It was taken off the Ebola trials in Africa because it was killing more people than the Ebola virus itself was. It just got repurposed. And Gilead has just made a whole bunch of money by, getting it on the shelves and having the administrators in the hospitals run it. They preclude their physicians and people from using anything else. I mean, it's never been part of medicine to kind of keep doctors from medicating or treating their patients the way they felt that it was appropriate to be treated until COVID happened. They stopped. They didn't allow us to use hydroxychloroquine. They confiscated all of it.
That's what happened with Dr. Huang. I had double pneumonia. It was severe. He wanted to hospitalize me. I said, no, please don't. Because they were sneaking the COVID shot into people's IVs and so on in hospitals. These do-gooder nursing staff and so on, who was like, well, they just don't understand. And they were ostracized. If you went in there and said, do not, or your loved one is in there and you say, do not give them the COVID virus, do not give them remdesivir, you were ostracized in the hospital. You were treated differently. That's been proven now.
Yep. Well, look, there was a doc, I think it was a cardiologist out of Case Western or if that's the wrong hospital, then I'm sorry. But there was a cardiologist somewhere in Ohio that said, basically, if somebody comes in and hasn't been vaccinated, then he's not going to treat them. And just going to, just kind of like put them to the back of the line.
We're seeing that out here in California, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's, we never did any of this stuff. I mean, it's just kind of like the analogy would have been, people that coming in with a heart attack that smoke cigarettes would be kind of say, sorry, you smoke cigarettes and, we're not going to treat you now. That's just, it's the antithesis of what we're supposed to do in medicine. So, and people that do that, I mean, look, and you can take it to the current situation, with Charlie Kirk. If you don't like what Charlie Kirk has to say, that's fine. But to celebrate somebody being killed the way he was, is truly inhumane.
Right there in your state.
Yeah, right down the street from me. I drove by there about
Valley University.
I drove by there I'm at 20 minutes, probably about 2 hours before it happened. I drove by there. My son was actually going to go to that. And his friend was standing front row. We still haven't heard from her to see how she's doing. So, yeah. So it's, you've been in Utah, or you know of Utah. It's a relatively small state, and I had the people actually that I donated to, the Health Independence Alliance, nonprofit organization. The two people that were running that were there too. They were about 10 rows back. So so I know a fair number of people that were there. And it's a tragedy, and to have people celebrating that is just
the media and even medical professionals turned COVID into a political thing when President Trump at the time said, somebody should look at ivermectin. Somebody should look into hydroxychloroquine.
Hydroxychloroquine. He called it hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine. And then, the little gnome kind of takes a step up, brings the microphone down to his 5'2" level and starts talking about, how he needs to talk about how, hydroxychloroquine is not the right dose or not the right thing. And he wrote an article back in 2007, 2008, how it treated, how it was an appropriate treatment for SARS.
And SARS was shown in 2020. There was an article that was published as a 73% homology to SARS-2, which was COVID. And everybody that was tested with it actually had antibodies to it and killed the virus on their petri dishes. So it wasn't an in vivo study; it was an in vitro study, but it still showed that that they had antibodies that were adequate to treat it. So anybody that was treatable with SARS with hydroxychloroquine would have been able to be treated with hydroxychloroquine with SARS-2, and that's exactly what I did all through 2020 until ivermectin came out, and I started treating people with ivermectin. But it's nuts to say that you can't treat something. It's absolutely crazy. And for doctors,
Lysol cans kills COVID. That's part of
right,
the old
the masks that they made you wear, the box that arrived with the masks in them that you would order or go to the store
from China, by the way.
Yeah, from China, but also right on the box it says not adequate or does not treat or does not prevent the transmission of viruses. So
it was insane.
I gotta
tell you, Doctor,
the whole narrative was crazy.
I have a lot of people, my fellow podcasters, telling me, "Yeah, COVID's over. Nobody's talking about it. It's a tune out. Don't even bring it up." But yet, I keep on talking about it because I don't want people to forget. People are forgetting already. They're forgetting that they made us walk down grocery stores by following an arrow. They're forgetting that they tried to get you fired and doxxed if you didn't take that poison into your body. I didn't. I almost got kicked out. I've served in the military. I can't even talk about it because of my political stance, but I almost got kicked out. I was that close, but I was one of only 19. They got a religious exemption. Out of thousands serving, I was one of only 19.
Yeah, that's nuts.
They got a religious exemption.
Well, I took care of a bunch of people in the military that didn't get their religious exemptions, and so I was their last, last resort. So,
dude, you're one of my heroes, and Dr. Michael Huang, one of my heroes. Yeah. He was prescribing the things, but my biggest frustration, and I'll never forget this as long as I live, and I don't really trust pharmacists now because of it. Doctors like you were prescribing ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and the Z-Pack. They were prescribing it.
Yep.
And pharmacists were refusing to fill it.
Yeah, I was told by a pharmacist that I'm not, as a plastic surgeon, I'm not authorized to treat, to write a prescription for hydroxychloroquine because it's not within my purview to write, prescriptions for hydroxychloroquine. But that was only because I wrote it to give, 200 milligrams 5 days in a row. If I'd have written it to give 200 milligrams once a week for the next 6 weeks, they would have been okay with that because that's the indication for the use in malaria. And I wrote that for about 150 people when I went to Ghana 3 times. So I know exactly what it is. And so I would actually write hydroxychloroquine as for the prescription so they could get it filled. I would write it and I would tell the patients that I'm writing it for 200 milligrams, take it once a week as a malaria prophylaxis. And the pharmacist would fill it, but I would tell them to take it 5 days in a row. Instead. So that's, there's ways of getting around it, but yeah, I don't know when it became legal for pharmacists to practice medicine, but
exactly. It doesn't matter. As a doctor, as a plastic surgeon, as you said, are you not going through the same training and the same courses as a GP, general practitioner?
Well, I mean, you do.
You not have the same medical license.
Especially as a general practitioner. General practitioners basically have done 4 years of medical school, and then they did a year of internship, whether it be a medicine internship or a surgical internship, and then go off and hang their shingle as a general practice doc. They haven't done any specialized training in anything. Family practice they have specialized training in family practice, pediatrics, OBGYN, general surgery, plastic surgery, ENT, whatever. You go off and do but your basic training is all the same. So 4 years of medical school and your year of internship is pretty much the same for everybody. So as a GP, I have just as much experience in training as what they do. And then, I served in the military as a flight surgeon. I moonlighted in hospitals for 8 years. So I have a lot of primary care experience. And so I just relied on a lot of that. And then just look, one of my co-defendants used to go into the grocery store and somebody would come around and say, "Ma'am, you need to wear a mask." And she would go, "No, I can't." And they would say, "Well, you have to." She goes, "No, I have CS." And they would walk away. And her husband one time looked at her and said, "Hey, Chris, what's CS?" And she go, "Common sense."
I wish I would have tried that. I
I
was
know.
carrying the card around and everything.
Right.
But you can't be asking me that kind of stuff.
Right. I mean, that was the only law that was broken, Charlie. That was the only law that was broken, was requiring
88.
people to, disclose. So the one
That's
side of that was allowing people to do that. Because if I were to do that out in public, then I can get sanctioned and lose my license for having people disclose their medical information without their permission. And then on the other side, you're not supposed to, as a patient, you're not supposed to have to disclose your medical information to anybody that asks for it. I mean, and so it's against the law on both ends.
Out here in California, I was so disappointed. There were so many friends, colleagues, people I'd worked with who I thought were strong individuals. I watched them roll right over.
Yep.
I want to be, wherever you want to shoot me, give it. I want to be able to visit my kids. I'm going on a trip to Italy. I don't want the hassle. Just give it to me. Put it in me. What's in it? Well, we don't know. It doesn't come with a list of ingredients. What are the side effects? We don't really know that either. But
well, actually, they did know the list of side effects.
So it's good.
They had 29,000 lists of side effects that were listed in terms of that they'd already done.
It wasn't included in the package when we got it.
And mRNA, lipid nanoparticles and mRNA have been studied since the late 80s. It was, all of the animals died in all the studies up through 2020. They haven't done any since, and now the animals are us, are humans, and we are the guinea pigs. So the people that have been injected with it. And then on top of that, there was just an article that I just saw published. I think it was Nicholas Hulscher and Peter McCullough put out an article saying that the deadliest vaccines were the ones that were distributed to the red states. And when I looked at my lot numbers that were distributed to me to inject in people, it was the same one that some other people had online that their kids had died from. So it was E8731, and I believe that was exactly one of the ones, the lot numbers that was distributed to me. So they were preferentially distributed to the red states. It's absolutely crazy what what our federal government did, because this was a government operation. It's the reason why it was called Operation Warp Speed. And it was run by our government. It was run by our DOD. It was run by BARDA. And then it was basically given to the pharmaceutical companies in exchange for them slapping a label on it. And then they were paid hundreds of billions of dollars to be the quote unquote, kind of developer, or to take the heat for it. But there is no heat to take, because with the PrEP Act and the declaration of an state of emergency, there's no liability. So
they're still giving it away.
They're giving it. Yeah. So we developed it. Catherine Watt and Sasha Latipova have proven that we developed it. We're the ones that studied it. We're the ones that put it all together. We're the ones that distributed it. And then all that happened is that we paid the pharmaceutical companies the money to slap their labels on it. RFK said that even in one of his podcasts before he ran for president. He said it.
So it wasn't made in Pfizer's lab or Johnson &
No,
Johnson.
Pfizer had nothing to do with it. It was a government product. Look, this happened in the late 60s, early 70s, when they shut down the bioweapons program, and they signed the treaty to stop bioweapons. And they just took all those same scientists that were doing all of that, and they put them into the vaccine development program. They did the same stuff. And so then you did it all under the auspices of protecting the society against the bioweapons that are already out there, the ones that we've already developed, that are already in all these labs across the country, in Romania,
like anthrax,
in North Korea and China, or wherever all these labs are that we are, currently funding, Ukraine and China and everywhere else. And all they did is just change the name on the thing. It said, instead of it being a bioweapon, it is now it's a medical countermeasure, and that's it. Same scientists, same people, same programs. They just slapped a different name on the door. That's all they did.
I have friends who say, "Yeah, I didn't take the COVID shot, but I'm getting my flu shot."
Yeah, no shots.
Why the hell would you do that? I made the mistake of getting the pneumonia shot after I'd gotten so sick, and was after the fact. Why did I do that? My doctor talked me into it. I asked him, "Does this have the same mRNA and crap in it like COVID
Charlie,
shot?"
Here's a question.
No.
Charlie, here's a question to have all of your viewers and everybody else that's out there, all your friends, people that you talk to. Okay, before they get a shot, have the physician or the nurse practitioner, whoever it is, have them give you a list of ingredients. Have them tell you, hey, before you inject this in me, can you tell me what's in it?
They can't.
And they can't do that because
They
there's
don't
like 37 different products that go into these, from aluminum to formaldehyde to fetal cells to bovine cells to.
It was the fetal cells that got me the religious exemption.
I mean,
by the way,
it's crazy, man.
insane.
And when you get a sheet and anybody who says that they gave informed consent on the COVID shot is absolutely lying out of their ass, because the sheet that they gave you with the box when you opened it up was a 24 by 32 piece of paper that said intentionally left blank on the front and back. So anybody who says they gave you informed consent to that is absolutely straight out lying to you.
How did they pull this off? I mean,
Fear.
seriously, this is a worldwide mass. I'm quite convinced there are very nefarious people who wanted to see us die. This is all about the depopulation of the planet. Just listen to Bill Gates. Go back and look at some of his earlier speeches about that. Yep. They're openly the United Nations, part of their agenda, depopulation. Yep. Too many of us on the planet, a bunch of us have got to go. This is a great way to do it. That's one way. The other one is starvation. The other one is major, massive war, especially if it's nuclear. They've tried to pull all three of us during the Biden regime of terror.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, the Council of 300, all of these organizations that you have no idea who's really members of them and everything else. And it's a depopulation agenda. And it was driven by fear. You scare people into doing it, then they're going to do whatever it is.
The most effective way to get people to do what they don't want to do. Yep. Fear.
Yep. So easy. If you just say no, do not comply, and don't get scared, we're all going to be good.
And when I'm begging,
that's why they shut us down. That's why they shut us down.
That is why they shut us down. And that's why I'm begging people now to never forget this. Never forget what the hell. If I have to keep reminding you over and over and over again, I will. Please don't ever forget this. Don't let it happen again, because they will try again. It's coming.
Well, what I tell everybody is nobody looks out for you like you. Okay. Nobody looks out for you like you. Educate yourself a little bit on it. You don't have to dig that deep. You just have to realize, just like I said, ask your pediatrician, ask your OBGYN, ask your family practice doc, hey, give me the ingredients of that before you put it in my arm. And, after you give me the ingredients and you tell me, the hepatitis B shot that they give to newborn babies, they studied it for 4 days. One was for 4, one was for 5, and that's it. And they give a hepatitis B shot that they say is going to run out in 10 to 12 years anyway, even if it does work.
Isn't that a sexually transmitted disease?
How many babies are having unprotected sex with other babies in the nursery right next door, or getting blood transfusions?
The papilloma virus.
Abusers.
I'm sorry for interrupting. The papilloma, is that, am I saying it right?
Virus? HPV.
Right, HPV. They tried to make it to where teenagers and younger had to get the shot to prevent that. None of these vaccines, and it's pathetic that they even call them vaccines, because vaccines keep you from getting something. These don't.
That's why they changed the definition of vaccine.
It was a sexually transmitted disease. What's the definition now?
In September of 21, it says that it actually gives you it's not even protection. It used to be that it prevents transmission or it gives you immunity. Now what it says is that it potentially I think gives you protection. That's all it says. So it's the definition was changed on September 1st of 2021.
I have spent too much time talking about this with you and not asking you what I wanted to talk to you about, and I only have a few minutes left. But I want to know, what was it like when they came down on you? What happened? Walk us through it.
Well, January of 23, they showed up with 10 or 11 officers. The FBI, HHS.
The crap they do. Was it early in the morning too?
No,
guns drawn.
They had to wait till my office was open, otherwise they couldn't get in. But it was, it was morning, and they just showed up in force. It wasn't like Roger Stone kind of takedown type of thing, but it was, it was in force. And they confiscated my phones, and then they precluded me from basically telling my story. I couldn't tell them why it was. I couldn't have anybody come in and say, hey, this is why I went to Dr. Moore instead. I couldn't have any of the quote unquote experts talk about the downsides of the COVID vaccine. I couldn't have anybody that had been vaccine injured come in and defend what it was that we did. If it weren't for, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, RFK, Senator Mike Lee, getting it to Pam Bondi's attention, then I would probably be sitting here awaiting sentencing right now.
Your Republican Party in Utah, by the way, is really jacked up, and you have quite a rhino for a governor. Sorry if that offends you if you're a fan of his.
They're all rhinos.
There's some screwed up politics going on in Utah right now.
John, I mean, Mitt Romney, John Curtis, I mean, come on. What's her name? That lady, the black lady that was our House member, something Love, Sabrina Love, or
Dick Christie Love. I think
no. She was the representative. Yeah.
Anyway, thank God for Mike Lee is what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
He snuck in. A real Republican actually got in there. He's been amazing. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's fantastic. Although she couldn't help the J6ers, could she now? She was one of them.
She couldn't help them before Trump got into office, but she certainly did afterwards. So
yeah, thank God. Thank God.
Well, look, of the single most effective representative, in my opinion, that we've had that has helped out individual people like me is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. She's stepped up and kind of raised the stink over me, other people, and has really kind of like gone to bat for, the January Sixers and everybody else. And so she's deserves
amazing.
She deserves an awful lot of credit. She's not going to take any crap from anybody.
And a whole bunch of California Republicans are always running her down. I'm like, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You mealy-mouthed little.
And then Thomas Massey deserves a lot of credit too. You asked before if there's anybody that's out there. He's trying to get the PrEP Act to be repealed. And I think he's either supporting a measure or has talked about supporting a measure to repeal the liability of the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986. So if
you think so, you think it can happen?
You know what?
I mean, the time is right. We got President Trump. We got Robert Kennedy Jr.
Well, you still have Susie Wiles, who's the second most powerful person in the world, who's the ex-chief legal counsel for Pfizer right now. And she's curating all the information that makes it to Donald Trump's desk. So,
that's too bad.
We'll see.
I hadn't thought about that.
Anyway.
Pleasure meeting you. Where do you go from here? What are you doing now? I mean, did somebody throw you a huge party after you got all charges dropped?
Yeah, I got invited out. I got to meet Marjorie Taylor Greene. I got to shake hands and give Pam Bondi a hug. And I've been on a tour, not a tour, but I've been on a tear, I guess I should say, to get these mRNA shots taken off the market. I want all shots taken off the market. I don't think anybody gets any immunity.
So does Dr. Robert Malone. I've had him on the show as well.
I've never seen a baby born with a vaccine deficiency, and I don't think we'll ever meet a baby born with a vaccine deficiency.
Out here in California, over 70 vaccines before I think the age of 12, something pathetic like that. And then they can explain. And tell me if I'm wrong here, but in Japan, they recently said, you know what? No more, nothing. And all the autism seems to have gone away.
I've heard a lot about that too, but I don't know. Japan has a really high vaccination rate. They have a really high compliance rate with their population. There's, people there in Japan are, they don't push back against a lot of things, but there has been a lot of publicity out of some of their really high profile oncologists and everybody else calling out the vaccines. One of the original studies that showed the distribution of it came from Japan, where we knew that it targeted the ovaries and the testes, and primarily. So that came out of Japan in 2020, and that got buried. So I mean, there's a lot of BS going on out there, Charlie. And my job right now is to do everything that I can to kind of wake more people up to realize that this is a depopulation agenda. Only you are going to look out for you, and just stand up and do not comply.
By the way, when I took that pneumonia vaccine, did my doctor lie to me when he said no, it didn't have the mRNA stuff in it?
I don't know the answer to that, but probably not. Okay, I don't know of any specific ones that do have mRNA in it. Okay, I think they were trying to get a COVID flu shot out that has mRNA in it. That's the goal, is to get all of these, vaccines, with mRNA, because they're trying to tout it as, hey, we can put this on a computer and make something, and then, have it spit out a formula, and then have it send it to a machine and have that machine make it. And again, it's all BS. It's all kind of,
after all I went through saying no to the COVID shot, I don't know why I rolled over for that. It was a stupid decision.
No more shots.
No more shots. Nothing.
Right.
No, not even
hey,
a
and I saw your cute little dog there too. No more shots for your dog either.
I know.
Okay?
And you know what? I'm not.
So
I don't trust any of them anymore. I'm not. I don't know what's wrong with my little guy. Why he's acting so odd today, other than maybe he's old now.
Yeah. Well, I have my little dogs here somewhere. Come here, man.
Oh, you got one too? Oh, very good. Good. Oh, shoot. I knew there was something I liked about you.
See, there he is.
Hey, pup. Is that one of those Vichy swan?
No, he's a Maltese mix. So
Maltese.
yeah.
Okay.
And he's this big. He weighs 9.5, 10 pounds, and his name's Bear.
That's a good pet. Listen, I can't imagine life without dogs. It was a pleasure getting to meet you, Dr. Kirk Moore. How do we follow you, what you're doing, and keep in touch with you if we have any questions?
So Dr. Kirk Moore on Facebook. So just DrKirkMoore on MOORE on Facebook and Instagram. I'm at Moore22K on X or Twitter. And I have a Give, Send, Go for our legal defense fund. Give, Send, Go /Fight for More. So any help.
Fight for more.
Yeah. Fight for MOORE with a number 4. Actually, if you just go there and you type in my name, go to Give, Send, Go and then type in my name, I think it comes up. But Fight for More. We really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Charlie.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
And you got to get out of California. What are you doing over there?
Yeah. I did enjoy my time in Utah, but I don't know how well I fit in. All right, brother. Talk to you later.
Hey, see you.
I had I don't know why my show intro. Just another long line of stupid things that have been happening to me today. Why did my show intro suddenly fire right there? Because I hit the button. That's why. All right. I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something. If nothing else, I hope you were reminded of what they did during those 4 years of absolute terror under Joseph Biden. Never forget, because they will try it again. Don't let them win. Go to my website if you want to support this ministry. You can give there. You can help. Speaking of givesendgo.com/do-not-talk. Also on Venmo, I'm Venmo there.com/do-not-talk. But you can find all that up my website, all in one place. And all the shows that social media sees fit to tear down, you'll always find on my website. But you got to go there and contact me there too. Whatever you want. Join Team Charlie so we can keep in touch. Whatever social media does, let's plan ahead and build our community now. Please. CharlieSimons.com, CharlieSimons. CharlieSimons.com. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. Most importantly, America, bless God.